At Aurora, not only do we teach programming, we teach basic AV over IP.
Hello, everyone. Pavlo here, head of communications at Kitcast. And with me today is Chuck Espinoza, the guest of the first episode of Kitcast Talks. Happy to have you, Chuck. Hi.
Hey, Pablo, happy to be here. Really excited to be able to participate in your inaugural event here.
My first question, what is the biggest challenge facing the AV education today?
That's a good question. So, the biggest challenge facing audiovisual education today is staying current with the rapid pace of technological advancement and industry transformation. As AV technology evolves quickly, educators and training institutions struggle to keep curricula updated, invest in equipment, and provide meaningful hands-on experiences for students. Additionally, there's a growing gap between traditional educational approaches and real-world skills demanded by employers, requiring educators to continuously adapt their programs. This challenge is kind of compounded by the need to attract and retain qualified instructors and relevant industry expertise and secure adequate funding and modernize facilities and equipment. Getting the good people to be able to teach the subjects that really know the subjects and not just know of the subjects. There's always this old adage that, if you can do, if you can't teach, that I don't really subscribe to that. I think instructors should have real world experience and they should be able to tackle any question that the student gives at them from that real world experience. If a student says, "Hey, how do you deal with this?" I should have been in a position to deal with that and give them that, not just that knowledge, but share that experience with them.
That's a great answer. Talking about the instructors, talking about the teaching, this brings me to my second question. In your opinion, how relevant are certifications like CTS in today's landscape?
That's a good question. Certifications like CTS, they still remain highly relevant in today's audiovisual landscape, and they serve as a foundational validation for an individual's knowledge, technical competence, and dedication to industry standards. CTS from Avixa is globally recognized and provides a solid baseline of AV concepts, best practices, terminology, helping ensure a minimum level of skill and quality assurance for employers and clients. But as the AV industry rapidly evolves, driven by developments in networking and software-defined AV and cloud-based platforms and cybersecurity, AI, all the things, right? There's a growing recognition that additional or updated certs may be needed. Emerging professionals increasingly require expertise in areas like network infrastructure and IT integration, software-defined AV and programming skills, UCC, Unified Communications and Collaboration, and emerging technologies and trends, as well as things like project management and business skills, things like that PMP or having business certs. And while CTS remains really valuable as a baseline for AV professionals, the evolving AV landscape demands additional specialized and advanced certs. And to remain competitive and relevant, AV education and certification bodies should really diversify their offerings, continuously update them, and reflect modern skill sets that emerge in technologies. At Aurora, not only do we teach programming, we teach basic AV over IP, not just our products, but we teach what's going on with AV over IP and where is AV over IP going. What things do you need to make AV over IP work, not just from our product standpoint, but as a holistic approach. And we're actually doing a training with a switch manufacturer, with Netgear soon, to reinforce that holistic approach of this is how you need to start thinking about it at the beginning. This is what you need in the middle, and this is what you'll get at the end. And again, Netgear does have certifications for their switches. So, having that CTS, good foundation. The other things on top are what we need as professionals to build on that for today's industry.
I really like what Aurora Multimedia does. Sounds like a future-oriented approach. Talking about finishing the studies and going into the field. Third question is about that. What are the misconceptions that the AV professionals face when they leave training and go straight into the field?
So I'll tell you some of the biggest misconceptions, and I've seen this as an instructor before Avixa, during Avixa, when my time teaching at Avixa, and even now at Aurora, is the assumption that products and systems in the field are going to closely match idealized scenarios and clear-cut standards presented in the training. In
Hmm.
reality, AV professionals quickly discover that conditions in the field are rarely ideal. They encounter a bunch of challenges like unpredictable site conditions, complex integration and interoperability issues, um,
Hmm.
troubleshooting issues, client communications and expectation management. I mean, that's a big one. Budget and timeline pressures. In the classroom, we organize demos and exercises, and we have kind of a timeline, but we always have some time for the students to ask questions. But when you're working on a project, you have a hard timeline, and something comes up. Gear doesn't work well together, or something new just doesn't mesh with your system, and you still
Hmm.
have that timeline and budget to hit. And then the constant learning and adaptation. As AV technology continuously evolves, requiring professionals to regularly update their skills and knowledge. Training isn't just a one-time thing, and ongoing education and real-world experience are crucial to sustain success.
Hmm.
So I think the biggest misconception for AV pros, that the field scenarios are mirror the clearly defined idealized conditions that they experience in training. And in reality, it's far more complex and nuanced and challenging. And successful AV professionals quickly learn the importance of adaptability, creativity, ongoing learning, clear communication, and honing in those problem solving skills.
Chuck, thank you very much for being with us today.
My pleasure. A lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks. And we're looking forward to meeting you at InfoCom. Have a great day wherever you are.
Thanks, Pavlo. You too. And I look forward to seeing the group at InfoCom.